This is how we do it.
Oh, there we are. Welcome to You Dad Me and Hello. I'm RJ. This is Mike and Andy, as always. Welcome to another great episode of You Dad Me and Hello. And also welcome to my neighborhood. I realized I'm sitting in front of a very large open window with a light on me. So all of the neighborhood is knowing that I am famous now.
Yeah, we have to get an audience somehow. So
that's true. I'm just going to open the window and then I'll just yell out.
They can hear just you and not
just
us.
Me. So the good part of the show, yes.
Get the comments from everybody outside.
That's right. Like, shut up. I'm trying to sleep. I hate you.
So, hey, how's everything going this week?
It's all right. It's all right. I had 2 days off in a row in the middle of the week.
Glad you're good at your banter.
Yeah, no.
How was your week? Nah, it's all right.
Yeah.
I got nothing to say.
Work's still busy. I'm not sleeping well. I mean,
Yeah,
that's not as good as all right.
That's true. How about you, Andy?
I had this week off, but I did not sleep as much as I wanted to because
You have a child.
my wife. I got a dog, and my wife picked up a few extra shifts in the morning, so I had to get up and take care of everything.
Way to ruin your vacation. God.
I know, jeez.
She's like, you have
9
vacation?
every day.
I'm gonna make you get up now every day.
Oh no,
it's only fair. She gets up early, so I guess I could suck it up for a week.
She signed up for that when she married Awesome Andy.
That's right. That's right.
You're an old man. You get up. Andy gets up at 5 a.m. every day and is asleep by 6:30 until there is a podcast, and then he just complains about how late it is until he goes to bed.
Excuse me, you're the one who's like half falling asleep by the end of it.
No,
Anytime,
partly true.
he always makes fun of me for falling asleep, but yet when I would go over to your house watching wrestling, by the main event, you were passed out on the couch.
We're
pretty
sitting
much
on a comfy couch. I'm surrounded by friends and joy, and I get tired. So.
In all fairness, were you watching WWE?
That's
Is that
true.
why you were falling asleep on the couch?
It was Goldberg versus Bobby Lashley, and I got tired. So
I don't put anyone to sleep.
No, it's right. I if I sit anywhere and I'm not sitting straight up, I'm gonna fall asleep. Which is partly why I'm always on my phone, and then Andy yells at me that I'm always on my phone. So
that or he's tapping his leg like this, like constantly. And I'm like, can you stop? And you're like, stop what?
Tap his leg. If you let him sleep, he wouldn't tap his leg. Jeez,
I probably do that in my sleep too.
No, he's like a puppy. You know, a puppy's dream that they run in. That's RJ's. Just
I do get in trouble quite often by my wife, who says that I'm constantly shaking.
That's kind of scary.
I'm not sure why she married you. I got a new shirt today.
Nice.
Hey, let's talk about it.
That looks familiar to me.
This is a design from a friend of the show, Rick Fonseca. So you can buy cool shirts like this if you like sports, if you like music, you like wrestling, on TeePublic. And his page is Gimmick by Design. And we interviewed Rick a long time ago. So go back and watch that. And also go support a local artist because he's got some great stuff on there. So
yeah, if you want to check it out, I think it's episode 22-ish, something around there.
Sounds right.
About halfway through the podcast. So go check it out. It's actually on YouTube and Spotify. And check out some of the other older episodes. If you like to see a podcast without Mike, episodes 10 and below were done very put together. Andy and I think we used like Zoom for the first
Probably.
I think it was really bad, but it was fun. It was great. I remember like we did it and like it was all recorded. We didn't do live at that time, and Andy and I would record it, and then like at the end of it, we were just like, "Was that good?" We're like, "Yeah, it seemed all right."
They're like, "All right, we got to edit a 3-hour video now."
I know. There was a lot more editing back in the day. Yeah.
Yes, it was. Now we're like, we don't care.
Part of the reason we went live is so I don't have to do editing too much anymore.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I had to edit the logo into the video back in the day, and
oh my gosh, remember that?
I had to spread the logo out across the 3-hour video. And yeah,
the worst part about being live is just having to behave ourselves.
That's
honestly.
True. We can't make mistakes live, or at least.
Yeah. I dropped so many F-bombs at the beginning.
Well, recording, we should release some of those. If we have them still, we could do like an after dark episode. Like Damien, hello. It would be like, MTV's True Life. What you Damien, hello. Like behind the scenes.
Don't spoil what we got going on.
We could do behind the podcast, and it would be about the rise and fall and breakup of you Damien, hello.
It's gonna be all in one episode.
They had a glorious 43 episodes before they imploded.
This is it. This is it, folks. You're witnessing the end.
We're only getting better, guys. I want to announce to everybody that season 3 is a short way away. We're ending season 2 very soon. I think just a couple more weeks, and then we'll take a small break and we'll come back better than ever. We've got some cool ideas, some new ideas, some fresh ideas. We won't be changing the actual podcast in any way, as far as in like. The majority of our podcast is really about kind of talking about our opinions on music and movies and TV and wrestling. We'll still do that, but we want to add some new things, some fun things, some engagement during the week on our Facebook and Instagram. So keep up with us and feel free to go back and watch some of those old episodes or share some of those old episodes that you liked, because the more views we get, the better we feel about ourselves and the more content we'll create. So, but yeah,
maybe season 3 I can grow some sort of facial hair, but we'll see.
You have to be the token guy without the facial hair.
Yeah, you'll mess our logo up if you do.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Other than we could change ourselves to like the 3 bearded dads or something like that, but that sounds weird.
You dad me at hair low.
You dad me at beardo. But anyways, hey, how's everybody at home? Thank you for watching along with us tonight. Huge thank you to the Michael family who's watching.
We have someone new. I believe my cousin Trista is watching.
Nice.
Because I got a text message while we were doing the cold. So,
Mike, I said the Michael family just because is it Jacques? Is it Jake's?
Sure.
You've asked us so many times.
I know. I forget it every time.
It depends on what telemarketer is calling me.
Well, I want to know, like, if you were like with your family and you had to say it correctly, what would it be?
It's Jake's.
Hey, moron. Oh, last name. Sorry.
Yeah. Do you mean they're addressing me personally? Because I can't say those things.
What is how do you say it as a family? Like, what is it?
Jake's.
Is it Jake's?
Jake's. Yeah.
That's not fun.
It's not.
Jacques.
Yeah,
look, it's Lori Jacques, everyone. Isn't that
Jacques?
Yeah.
I get Jackie's, Jacques.
Are you
Jacques?
French?
Yeah, we're French.
Then it should be Jacques.
It should be Jacques.
Jake's.
Jacques.
Mikey Jakes. Mikey Jakes, bro. You go to Cranston, man. You can be Mikey Jakes, bro. You and Butters.
Yeah.
I don't go anywhere near Cranston.
I live in Cranston.
That's true.
Exactly.
Right, I go to Cranston. I go to your house.
Yeah, and hey to Band Lab too. Angie.
Hey, Band Lab.
Angified over on YouTube and Band Lab. Angie, A-N-G, I think. Angified. Yeah. Thank you, though. We get some YouTube comments from them quite often.
Yeah.
Those are the best comments.
They are.
What is
a lot of them we can't share. What is this? What's Mike doing? All sorts of fun comments there.
Hello, Caitlin Jacques.
Oh God. Let's go back to the 90s. MTV.
Yeah, let's talk about
when they showed music videos back then.
That was in the 80s. They stopped it. Yeah.
That's true. 90s, they kind of took a turn with some reality stuff, with some edgy cartoons, different kind of content. So I think we're going to hit on all those topics. We really kind of strayed away from like music shows because that's kind of what they did. There's a couple in there, but like you had so many. It was that's kind of what was playing, and then they kind of mixed in all these other stuff. RJ said I'm really loud, so I'll be quiet.
That's a private chat, Andy. You don't need to bring it up. I would have just said it out loud.
Why did you?
Loud, Andy?
Hold on. Why did you tell him it was a private chat? You could have like convinced people we had telepathy.
Yeah. See,
well, now I have to give it out. That you'll see it on Behind the Podcast. But
I have no idea how to turn my mic on.
There's a private chat. Well, you all of a sudden got loud. It was just like, "Hey, I'm Andy. Hello," and you started yelling.
I can't control that.
Well, you can control that. It's your voice.
You gotta plug it in. Plug it in.
I'm getting really excited about the topic. Okay, guys.
No, it's not the volume of your voice.
Down.
Like the whole room just got louder. I can hear your child screaming from another room.
I'll sit back here. Is that quieter?
Is it still loud? Is it still loud? I can't hear myself.
Well, now you're literally yelling. I feel like now you're just like, "Is it loud?
Is it loud?"
No, it's
I'm literally saying that so quietly.
I don't know. I don't like this. What is this? What is going on here? I don't like
that's our new tagline. You dad me at hello. Is it loud?
That's
the last piece of your dignity trying to get away from you.
Wow. Gosh, I feel like this is weird. I don't like this thing. All right. Anyways, moving on. We're going to talk about it at some point. We are here to talk about the top past MTV shows. We're not talking about current MTV because that's 90 hours of ridiculousness and Teen Mom.
Literally the show.
Ridiculousness.
Literally,
ridiculousness. Yeah.
Ridiculousness is on literally any time you turn on MTV or MTV2, if that's still a thing. And Teen Mom 1, 2, 3, Teen Mom OG. It's pretty much it. Not that I don't watch all of those shows, but 90s and prior was MTV at its finest. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Andy did mention there are a couple of shows on here that are music oriented. Obviously it's MTV, but we do get into some of the reality stuff and game shows and stuff like that. So we'll talk about that.
I'm ready. I'm like pumped.
Andy's pumped. This is the most excited I've seen Andy about an episode in a while.
Well, hey, here we go. We're doing the top 8 again for the people who just 16 is just too much for them. Top 8. We've got everything from True Life all the way down to the real world. And if you're sitting here looking at these episodes and you're like, I just don't know what these are, we're going to talk about them. We're going to tell you a little bit about them. Maybe you'll go back and watch some of them. They're available on Paramount, I think, or on MTV.com. So you can go back and watch some of these, except for Road Rules. Can't find Road Rules anywhere. I'm a little mad about that.
They changed later. They changed the name of Road Rules.
No, it was Road Rules Real World Challenge. That's something else. But Road Rules itself, you can't find the old episodes other than random YouTube. But anyways, here we are. How you guys feeling about this list?
I like it. This is probably one of the best lists, I think, as far as quality of choices that we all kind of agreed on right away. So,
and I honestly don't know what I'm gonna pick, and like what show's actually gonna win. Like a lot of times you can go in like, all right, maybe this one's gonna be in the final 4, but I got no damn clue.
Nope.
Oh, and also big thank you to MTV for letting us use their logo at the bottom. No, they didn't, but I did. But it was nice. It's there. It's great. We're not going to get pulled off of YouTube, hopefully, and it's there. So it's a nice logo. But anyways, let's go first. We've got True Life, MTV's True Life versus Total Request Live, TRL. I think we need to talk a little bit about TRL because it did kind of formulate from a one kind of show to a different kind of show live. But we are really talking about the whole of the show, so we could talk a little bit about both. But what do you guys think?
Let's talk about the whole. This one's on the whole. Damn, I don't know.
Well, I'm going to talk about True Life a little bit. True Life
True
Life came in, I think, around 1998 or so. And they followed people through a certain part of their lives. The camera crew would follow them around. And, you know, they covered everything from drug use, money issues, sexual topics, things like that.
Sports.
But it's been on for a very long time. There's been 18 seasons, 328 episodes. But I remember watching a little bit. I can't remember specifically too many True Life episodes. So I mean TRL. I mean, I'm gonna go with TRL, and I'll talk about that later.
What you got, Mike?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, as far as popularity, I think TRL is the much more popular show. It had much more of an impact, I think, on pop culture at the time. As much as I respect True Life, I do like documentaries a lot, but back then it was kind of weird to see that kind of stuff on TV. But I did find myself watching it more than TRL. But looking back, I think TRL is probably a better rounded show. So that's going to be my choice.
I'm very surprised that you went that way. I'm also going to go with TRL. Let's make it easy.
Yeah.
I kind of struggled with this, and I'll talk about TRL later. But True Life was, a little crazy at times. Like, we should definitely do an episode of True Life as I'm a dad podcaster. We should pitch that to them and see where it goes. And then RJ can talk about how he eats toilet paper as well.
That's right. That was an episode, wasn't it?
That was an episode.
Oh.
Was it that one? I don't know. Was it that show? Might have been a different one.
No, it was that show. I know what you're thinking of. You're thinking of My Strange Addiction is that other weird show. But no, True Life was definitely the toilet paper one.
Yeah. Hey, teach their own. Yeah. There were 2 episodes. Actually, there were 3 episodes that I really remembered for True Life. One was, I think there was a pro wrestling one. Yeah. If I remember correctly. There was another one where some dude was just flipping out. They were getting married, and he like flipped out on the limo driver, who was like an hour late to the church. I just remember this guy just like going off. And then there was another one where
that was your wedding video, Andy.
You're getting
mine was passing out. Then the other one was the girl who was embarrassed by her mom, who got numerous breast implants and was just trying to draw attention whenever they were out and doing some things that the daughter just was not pleased with.
Leave it to MTV to literally have an episode called I'm a Porn Star and then follow it up with Matthew Shepard's murder in the next one. Like, they're going all over the place. Then I'm a pro wrestler, like you said. Then there's one on I'm a backyard wrestler, which they showed a little.
I remember that.
I remember seeing both of those. There's everything. I'm a hacker. I live in a brothel. I'm horny in Miami was another one, which is I don't remember that one.
It's my autobiography.
Here's the one. I'm getting breast implants, so I assume that's the one you're referring to. But
that might have been a different one.
But yeah, anyways, it had its moments for sure. But TRL, iconic. We'll talk more about that, I assume, as we go further down. But anything else to say?
No, let's move on.
All right. Moving on. We've got, here we go. Unplugged. MTV's Unplugged versus Beavis and Butthead. These are iconic for very different reasons. Beavis and Butthead. My kids have heard of Beavis and Butthead. Unplugged, though, has come up with some of the best music that I've ever heard. I remember watching Mariah Carey, do Unplugged. Her voice is ridiculous, whether you like her or hate her. Eric Clapton doing Unplugged Layla, probably the best version of that song there is. I remember 10,000 Maniacs doing one that was ridiculously good. I know everybody likes Nirvana. I'm not a Nirvana fan, but he did an Unplugged one too that was really good. But
Alice
I just remember
Chains, Stone Temple Pilots, some of the best ones.
LL Cool J.
LL Cool J, that's right.
Oh yeah. And wasn't there later on? There was a Jay-Z one, I think. Where Jay-Z did a bunch. I'm trying to think of. I want to say Boyz II Men did one, but I might be wrong on that.
Aren't they always unplugged though?
Yeah.
No, they have a full band when you see them live, but I know what you're saying. Alanis
Wasn't
Morissette.
their full band unplugged?
Alanis Morissette was there. That was a really, really good one as well. But yeah, I mean, and it's still around. They're still doing their thing here and there. I don't think it's a show that comes around as often as it did back then. But yeah. But that's not my guess. Man, I'm gonna go with Beavis and Butthead.
Whoa,
a lot about Unplugged, only because
what a twist!
I mean, it's just iconic. I mean, it's
Shyamalan does.
But I don't know, man. I don't know what to do.
We just got M Nighted. We'll get a lot of unplugs here.
I'm gonna go Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, this is a super tough decision. Anyone that knew me, I don't know, 15 years ago, I loved Beavis and Butthead.
Not friends with you anymore.
Is not friends with me anymore. You're right. Most are not, because I was a fan of Beavis and Butthead.
Sorry,
but I don't know. Unplugged is still going. I feel like it. I don't know. I feel like it had more of an impact.
Beavis and Butthead's coming back too. If we want to talk about
yes,
that.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I don't know. I think I have to go with Unplugged on this one.
Ooh, okay, all right.
Putting the pressure on Andy. Sorry.
Oh
Pressure
man.
cooker. Pressure cooker.
Oh man.
I mean,
both had. I feel like both were significant in their own ways. Unplugged is just kind of like a cool thing to see, and there's some really great performances. Man, and people still talk about those performances too. But
yeah, that's kind of what's making it stick out in my mind as well. Yeah, it's true. She's probably right.
But on the other hand, Beavis and Butthead. I gotta go with Beavis and Butthead. I'm sorry, everybody, but that was my childhood.
I'm okay with either one, to be honest. But
here, I don't know if I've ever watched a full Unplugged show. Honestly, like I've seen I don't know. I've seen certain songs, be played different clip shows and stuff like that, or here and there. But I've never sat down and actually fully watched like an episode.
So we got a lot of people that voted for Unplugged. Can anyone comment below what is like the ultimate song you've heard on Unplugged? Again, for me, Eric Clapton's Layla and Because the Night by 10,000 Maniacs, like ridiculous on that episode. What about you guys? You remember any?
Yeah, for me, it was Alice in Chains. I mean, it was one of Lane Staley's, if not his last performance with the band. And it was their first performance, I believe, in like 6 years because of his drug issues and his declining health. And even that show, you could tell watching him, he was not in a great state, but still managed to really give. Maybe he knew it was going to be one of his last performances. But that by far sticks out in my mind. And I know, like you said, RJ, everyone talks about the Nirvana one. But for me, that Alice in Chains Unplugged is every acoustic version of that song that they played is the best version of that song they've ever recorded, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I forgot totally about Mariah Carey covering the Jackson 5's I'll Be There. And that version actually was released as a single and went to #1. So literally just the performance on that episode was a hit song for her. Really good stuff. Beavis and Butthead also all really good in a completely different way. Thank you, Kevin. Maggie May by Rod Stewart. That was a great version too. I did see that.
One thing I did not know was that the show was originally pitched to HBO and PBS, and they both passed on it. So it ended up at MTV. It wasn't, created with MTV in mind, actually.
Can you imagine that on PBS? And right after Unplugged is Reading Rainbow.
I mean, PBS does concerts, right? I mean, I feel like that would have been a good fit for them.
Yeah, they have Austin City Limits, which is which is also great. Different music, but still great in its own right.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, let's move on. We've got two of my favorites. I am in love with both of these shows. Road Rules versus Singled Out. I love both of these shows. If they were on right now, I would rewatch both of them I'm watching NBC's The Wall, and the host of that show is the host of Singled Out. And for some reason I can't remember the dude's name, but
wait, hold on. Yeah, Chris Hardwick.
Chris Hardwick. Yeah, Chris Hardwick is one of the coolest people on the planet.
He was one of the hosts. Co-hosts.
You're right. It wasn't him and Jenny McCarthy.
Jenny McCarthy, and then originally, no, sorry, it was Jenny McCarthy, and then it went to Carmen Electra for a season and a half.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I had almost forgotten that Chris Hardwick was the same person. Because Chris Hardwick I started seeing again on The Talking Dead, which was the Walking Dead talk show after the show. And I had completely forgotten that he was the host of that show. I mean, he had the long hair and everything. It was hilarious. At the same time, Road Rules was I wanted to live in an RV. Like, I wanted to do that. And I remember
in RJ.
I know.
You can.
I will. Yeah. One day I will travel the country in an RV. Hopefully I'll be healthy enough to do it by then. But yeah, Road Rules, man, there was an episode, I don't know if it was the first season or second season, in which they visited the WWE, and they got to learn how to wrestle with the Headbangers. Tag team in the late 90s. And that episode, it still sticks in my mind to this day. And for some reason, I said it earlier in the episode, they have wiped Road Rules from every streaming site. I did hear the other day that there is a revamped version of the Road Rules that will be coming to Paramount Plus. And I heard Paramount Plus started to pull the Road Rules stuff from YouTube so that they can air, hopefully, Road Rules in its entirety on the Paramount Plus network, which I do have and I pay for.
Yeah, and for anyone that doesn't know, Road Rules was sort of a spin-off of The Real World, which is also on this bracket. And it was 5 or 6 people in an RV driving across the country. And then at each stop, they had to participate in contests or complete certain goals or activities, which kind of made the show interesting. Because if you think about it, for anyone that's driven long distance, how terrible do you feel when you get to your destination? And then, so think about that. And then also think about having to do some sort of athletic activities after sitting in an RV for like 17 hours with 5 or 6 other people just getting on your nerves. That was Road Rules.
So I didn't mean to, I was laughing when you were talking. I just read that in the first season, the reward for the winner was a European trip. For the second season, the winner got a 1997 Honda Civic.
They're worth about the same. That Honda Civic's probably still running.
It's probably been stolen about 15 times.
And coincidentally, season 3 of Road Rules was in Europe, was it not?
Yes, it was. It was. They got a home entertainment center and $1,000 in cash, though. $1,000 in cash. The 90s is so long ago. Like $1,000 in cash is what people fought for in an RV for weeks. For us, it's like, oh my word! Like $1,000 wouldn't get me out of debt.
Now it's gonna be like a subscription to Paramount Plus.
Oh man! But hey, so I'm sorry. Where are we here? I voted for
Road Rules and Singled Out.
I'm voting for Road Rules.
They're voting for Road Rules.
Yeah.
I'm going with Singled Out.
Oh man,
It's on Mike now. It's on Mike.
Is this going to be every round?
I don't remember much from Road Rules, like specifics. Like I remember watching the show. Yeah, I remember watching early on episodes and stuff. It got kind of trashy for me. Not like Singled Out was the most upscale thing ever.
Yeah, Beavis and Butthead was my thing. Like, what are you talking about? Family Guy. But this is too.
I could separate reality versus.
There were people living together before marriage, Andy. In this, like, can you believe it?
Like, true. Oh, let's not go there.
Sure. This is not the show.
This is not the show for that. Those antics, sir. Mike, what is your pick?
Road Rules.
All right.
I like
premarital situation.
I used to watch Singled Out. It was on like every day after I got home from school.
It was the ridiculousness of the 90s.
It was. I mean, Singled Out was on a lot. And for anyone that doesn't know what Singled Out is, they would have a contestant looking for a significant other. So they would bring them out and they would put them behind a wall and hide them. And then there would be 50 other people trying to compete to get a date with this person. And it was broken up into rounds. So there were 3 rounds. One of those rounds being like a trivia kind of thing with like steps. And when you got to the bottom step,
that was the winner.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the winner.
I completely forgot about this show until you started talking about it.
It's a good show.
It is.
Yeah,
I want to watch it right now.
It was real dumb, but it was fun.
I remember like seeing it, and then the other day I watched an episode just to kind of refresh my memory a little bit. So there was an episode where Jennifer Love Hewitt was the person who was trying to get a date. And it was just silliness, just the questions, like how they weeded people out at the beginning. It was like, all right, do you like tall guys, short guys, or whatever? But they didn't say it in those words. Like they made it kind of tongue in cheek. So that everybody, when you lost, you had to walk by her and you could like give her your phone number or something like that. Then the second round was just like you had to answer a random question, and if the person liked it, then you moved on, and it was only 3 people that could move on. Yeah, then that final round, so I was watching the final round, and literally everybody answered the same thing, so they all kept moving up, right? So Chris Hardwick was basically like making fun of them, like saying that they were like kissing their butt and stuff like that. He made an interesting gesture that I'm surprised made TV about kissing butt. And then he asked them like a question where you had to give a number, like as like a tiebreaker kind of a thing. So like whoever got closest to that number was the one who won, because they were all answering the same thing. Complete silliness, absolutely, but it was definitely relevant in pop culture at that time because it was showing up on different shows. Like other TV shows were kind of like parodying that, like Boy Meets World, featured Singled Out. I think Chris Hardwick might have even been on the episode himself. Where Eric was actually the contestant on Singled Out. So like you saw it pop up in these other shows because it was really popular. And Jenny McCarthy, that kind of got her out a little bit more into pop culture. And so.
And let's not forget about Bob the Angel, the fat hair.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
That wore like the diaper with the little wings, and he was smoking a cigar.
Dude, so that Jennifer Love Hewitt episode, so the angel comes out. One of the questions was, he's like, you gotta repeat everything I say, and you gotta try to imitate me, right? So he's saying something back, and the guy's just like, I don't know. And the guy's like, no, you gotta imitate me. He's like, sound like me. And the guy's like, I'm not sure what it. He's like, what are you not understanding? Imitate what I'm saying. He's like, flipping out on this guy. The guy was just like, she's like, you're gone. Like, not even close. I don't think he understood what was going on.
Yeah, I'm watching currently the Celebrity Dating Game with Zoe Deschanel, and it's basically very similar to that, but the Singled Out version was a little raunchier and stuff. But I mean, essentially, it was a parody of the dating game from back in the day. And Chris Hardwick is I feel like he's America's sweetheart these days. I feel like he's like the new Ryan Seacrest to me. He's everywhere. Everyone likes him. He's just a cool dude. So seeing him come from Singled Out with the Matthews haircut, now to doing the Talking Dead and The Wall and a bunch of other stuff. He's everywhere.
At Midnight, cool. That was a great show.
At Midnight was awesome.
Yeah. All right.
But anyways, hey, moving on. So Road Rules is moving on. Singled Out is out. We are now down to our last bracket of the top 8, and that is Celebrity Deathmatch versus Real World.
Dang.
It's a big one. Again, for people who have watched it, Celebrity Deathmatch was the claymation wrestling, boxing, fighting thing.
So good.
And Real World was the original kind of reality show of putting a bunch of people into a house.
Strangers.
Racism ensues.
Racism, just
sexism,
flat out
fights,
just Like as soon as someone gets in the house, they're just like, "Let's do it in the hot tub," and then it's like, "STD here, STD
you got a
there.
girlfriend."
Yeah, I'm gonna punch you in the face now because I don't like you. Just all sorts of fun stuff. Yeah.
Paramount Plus, man, they got it. It aired on MTV in the 90s, 92, all the way to 2017. And then not to mention, we could talk about all the spinoffs like The Challenge and all that deal. But Paramount Plus now is in development for future seasons of the Real World. They just did a Real World reunion too, right? Was it the New York reunion or something?
Yeah.
I never watched a full season of the Real World, so I wasn't too interested. But so I'm going to go with Celebrity Deathmatch in this case. I understand that Real World is like probably one of the bigger names of MTV. Like everybody's heard of it. But I enjoy watching Celebrity Deathmatch more than I would watch Real World. I watch Road Rules any day, but Real World, I mean, it's just a bunch of, sexed up people, locked in a house. And I usually didn't like most of the people on the show.
I'm not sure you were supposed to, but yeah. What are you going to say, Andy?
Real World. It's the start of reality TV, whether you like it or you hate it. It all started there. At the beginning, it was very interesting when you got the different kind of strangers and like they were putting them together for a reason. So it was almost kind of like so you could learn from each other. These people had all different viewpoints and whatever, but and you saw that in the reunion show too, because there was a lot of controversy, especially in that first season.
Yeah, someone got kicked out.
Yeah, and you could see, like, did people change? Or did they stay the same? Like, I think they were trying to get people to show the world, kind of open their eyes to different things. It
was the true story of 7 strangers picked to live in a house and have their lives taped to find out what happens when people stop being polite and they start getting real.
That's right.
Dang, I've heard that before.
Yeah, I made it up.
You should pitch a show.
Yeah.
For all the things Andy said, Real World as well. I love Celebrity Deathmatch. It's a great show.
I think Trista says it all. What has the Real World done to us other than give us more crappy shows like Big Brother, Love Island? What is the other? There's a bunch of other Survivor.
Yeah, but you know why those shows are crappy though? Because
they're not having sex in a home. They're having sex on an island.
They didn't follow the same template as Real World. So Real World in the beginning, I don't know why we're talking about Real World because it didn't lose this bracket. But Real World really, like, it was a very eye-opening show at the time because they really did pick people from all different walks of life. And, a lot of these folks just didn't, they were ignorant for lack of a better term. That was the reason why they put them all together in a house.
Yeah, don't blame the Real World. What happened was other producers saw the trashiness part of it, which was at the beginning, there were small bits of it, and they said, how can we twist that? Because people kind of latch onto that. It's not because of the Real World, it's because of our society. That's what we want to see. You can say that's not what you want to see. Because look at Keeping Up with the Kardashians. There's no reason that should be a hit show. But people like the kind of stuff that they're spewing on there. And the dollar signs. That's all you see. So don't blame a particular show. Blame ourselves. And that we're trashy human beings here in the United States.
The WWE wrestler The Miz made it big from the Real World. I think that was in the Back to New York season.
Well, he was on Real World, then Road Rules.
Yeah.
Then he was on Tough Enough. Then
I think I forgot he was on Road Rules. So I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, come on, RJ. Jeez.
But anyways, we should talk a little bit about Celebrity Deathmatch. Right?
Celebrity Deathmatch
and how great it was. Still is.
I mean, man. So again, for people who don't know, you should look it up. It's stop motion claymation. It's a parody of sports entertainment. It was various celebrities engaging in professional wrestling matches. It was known for being gory and kind of over the top. Forgive me, I don't know if I know this or not. Also, by the way, Paramount Plus has it, but
we get it. You have Paramount Plus.
Way to wave that Paramount Plus money around.
Hey, first off, I pay $4.99 a month for that. But anyways,
that's why the podcast fund is always at zero.
Sorry, you dab me at hello pays for Paramount Plus. No, but forgive me, I don't remember. They made was it the voices of the actual celebrities that did that? Because I remember Stone Cold Steve Austin was definitely on it. Like, so he had his voice.
Stone Cold was a reoccurring character.
Okay.
It's funny that you brought this up because Jennifer Lopez was one of the only celebrities that was really outspoken about her appearing on the show, and it was her.
Positively or negatively?
Negatively.
Okay.
It was her. It was a match against her and Dolly Parton. So basically, her butt versus Dolly Parton's chest.
I remember that now.
Yeah. And she wasn't upset about the physical representation of her. She was upset that the voice actor they chose sounded nothing like her. That's why she was.
She could have been on the show if she wanted.
She could have been, but I guess they didn't ask.
Sorry, go.
I was gonna say it was funny. It was
with his tears.
What was it? Mills Lane, who was the ref,
Lane.
who was actually a real person. So he did his own voice. What do you do? Let's get it on. And then they were fighting. Who was Marilyn Manson went against somebody? Yeah. I just remember it was
Marilyn Manson versus Charles Manson. That was the pilot.
Yeah. I watched a little bit of it. It was funny, and then after a while, it was kind of the same thing over and over. So,
yeah. I mean, first episode in without the pilot, you had Hillary Clinton versus Monica Lewinsky in 1998. You had Mariah Carey versus Jim Carrey. You had Tim Allen versus Jerry Seinfeld. So those were pretty big names to hit up in that time frame in 1998.
All the kids right now are like, who?
That's true. And then in the second season, I think it was Jerry Springer, Rosie O'Donnell, and Oprah Winfrey. And they had David Letterman and Jay Leno. So just a bunch of people you would want to see fight in real life.
Yeah.
Stone Cold versus Vince McMahon, which obviously had happened in real life too. But just some fun stuff in there. I remember liking a lot of it. Jackie Chan, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
It's real funny. It's real funny.
But anyways, hey, that's it. So Real World is moving on for good reason, which we'll talk about a little bit more later. How you guys feeling? We've got our top 4 now. In our top 4, we've got TRL, Road Rules, Beavis and Butthead, and The Real World. How do you guys feel about that top 4? Are you surprised?
Not completely. I feel like the unplugged Beavis and Butthead one was like a close. Like I could have went either way, and I'm kind of that one. I'm kind of iffy about our decision, honestly. But I'm good with the other 3, and I love Beavis and Butthead. So whether they won or lost,
Well, here we are, guys. How do you guys feel at home? Feel free to hit us up on the comments in YouTube or you dab me at Hello Facebook. I don't really have any announcements for this week, again, other than the fact that season 3 is on its way. I think in October is when we would possibly do that. Yes, Andy.
I was going to say, we do have a new song coming out soon. It is done. We just need to release it.
Yes, you sent me your edited version of adding in some effects, and I have not uploaded that yet. So once we do that, which should be soon, I will get that out. And then we have a couple other songs that I'm working on right now too that Andy had sent over. And then finally, Andy sent over I feel like you sent over 5 or 6 in the last week or two. So I need to.
I've been going crazy.
Yeah, I need to get on there. Andy's very excited about something he sent me today, so we'll check it out. Hopefully, get some more music out this fall. I'm excited about it. The new song I'm excited about too. Is this the Not So Sure?
Yeah,
this is Not So Sure. Yeah, I was listening to it the other day. I'm excited about it. I think people will we'll get a kick
There's-
out of it.
There's a nice build to it, and there's some stuff in there that maybe some new listeners haven't heard from you vocally before. So it's kind of it mixes a lot of different components to it. It's pretty cool.
He's talking about a manly voice. It's a manly voice that you're going to hear.
That will never come out of your mouth.
We got Barry White to guest on this one.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
For me, when I do that, I'm always like, "Hello, ladies." It's never low. But yeah. Anyways, hey, here we are. TRL, Beavis and Butthead, Road Rules, Real World. Let's start with first off TRL versus Beavis and Butthead. I feel like there's so much to talk about with TRL. TRL was such a huge part of my life. I had a friend who was obsessed with NSYNC. And me. I liked NSYNC too. But anyways, they were obsessed with NSYNC. And I remember every day after school, she would want to rush home to watch TRL and see if NSYNC beat the Backstreet Boys in the #1 spot. And I just remember that just going home after school and watching that. Yeah. It was on I feel like every day.
It was Monday. It was a Monday through Friday show. Yeah.
Yeah. And Carson Daly, man, he obviously has become a household name, from this. But yeah, it was a great. I think it was interactive at some point too, wasn't it?
Well, all of the videos were literally the most requested videos.
Yeah.
From the day before, I believe.
Okay.
And then eventually, once social media became a thing, then they started pulling in real-time votes, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because technology.
So here's my thing with TRL is it started the fall of '99. Did the popularity of the show really become more in the 2000s?
Well, it was 98. And yeah, I remember being in 98, I was a freshman in high school. And I remember my freshman year, my sophomore year, like I said, that was the time frame that my friend was super obsessed with NSYNC. And so we'd watch that quite often in high school. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it got bigger, but Carson Daly left in, I think, 2003. And I don't remember watching it without him. So.
Well, the Backstreet Boys NSYNC stuff was definitely like 99, right? So around that time. So you definitely got kind of the start of it, the whole Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, like that whole scene kind of came in around the same time. But yeah, I'm with you, RJ. Like, I would also rush home to go watch it as well, especially when there was like certain songs that I was really pumped for, like to see like, are they going to make it to #1, or like what craziness is going to happen? Because there's always an artist coming by, especially when they were live and like promoting something or just messing around, just kind of goofing around with the audience and Carson Daly. Like, so it's definitely something to watch. Like if you were a fan of any kind of popular music at that point, some of the songs, obviously, I would skip by. I'm like, all right, I just heard that every single day. I hate that song, and why does it keep going to #1? But you kind of like, oh, I hope they break the top 10, today.
I mean, honestly, it was TRL's credit or fault for bringing about boy band popularity. I mean, boy bands had come out with a couple albums prior to TRL, but they really got successful and reached their peaks when they were on TRL. Backstreet Boys, Millennium came out in 1999. NSYNC, No Strings Attached, came out in 2000. And it, like you said, it was a back and forth, like who was going to be on there, and would there be a week that 98 Degrees got it, whatever.
Or Hanson.
Or O-Town.
Man, O-Town.
Or LFO, Summer Girls.
Oh, they're the Chinese food.
But yeah, same thing with pop princesses.
Yeah.
You had Mandy Moore, Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears on there all the time. And then rock bands came into it too. I remember towards the end, you had Limp Bizkit on there. You had Linkin Park, and some of those videos were being on there. I lost interest when the music videos were getting shorter. And they basically didn't even play the full.
Yeah.
They used to play like a minute and a half.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then
It's like,
and then
I
they
just
would cut it
requested
off.
this song, and you don't even play it.
Yeah.
Well, let's also not forget, like, I had mentioned before, this was before social media. So this is how you found out about your favorite artist. They would come on the show unannounced. And then thanks, Tim. And the camera would always be outside in Times Square, and there would be just thousands of people every single day outside the studio. I mean, this show is absolutely huge. So it was a huge part of pop culture, more so than Beavis and Butthead was, unfortunately.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's
TRL.
TRL. What do we have to say about Beavis and Butthead too?
Well, are we voting it out? Because I'm going TRL.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go with TRL too on this one. Yeah.
I mean,
It sounds like we've made up our mind.
Yeah, I love Beavis and Butthead, and Beavis and Butthead did a lot for heavy metal music and rock music. But it was really more popular just because of the violence on the show, which to me was hilarious. And there were some great characters on there. Besides Beavis and Butthead, you had Mr. Anderson. You had Milton, who was in Office Space. He
with
was
the winger shirt.
Yeah, with the winger shirt. It's a really funny show.
Winger sucks.
And Mike Judge, as dumb as you think his content may be, it's all social commentary, and it's all very timely. So Beavis and Butthead is very much a product of its time. TRL is really only tied to the music of the time, but if you think about the show as a whole, they still ended up, there was a TRL 2.0 on MTV2. So the show continued to go on. Beavis and Butthead only ran for 3 years. And they ended the show because they were burned out. They did 200 episodes in just under 3 years. It was crazy. They had the movie, and then it got rebooted, and then it got pulled, and then it's supposed to get rebooted again. But
on Paramount Plus.
On Paramount Plus, yeah. I think MTV has a big stake in Paramount Plus.
So there is a trailer for the new movie on Paramount Plus, and it's Beavis and Butthead on a Zoom call. And one of the characters says, "We're making a movie, and it's going to be on Paramount Plus." And then they both laugh, and they said, "You said Mount."
So I've talked about Beavis and Butthead before, and kind of how I got into that show. But that show taught me a lot of words that a kid shouldn't learn.
It wasn't a show for kids.
No. But I learned a lot, and I would ask, be like, "What does that mean?" And kind of find out some interesting things. But they got a lot of pressure from government and different kind of people because of their language and content, violent, there's all sorts of things. There was a Senate hearing in 1993 where a senator wrongly said the name wrong and called them Buffcoat and Beaver, which would be a great movie. Buffcoat and Beaver would be
sounds like a throwback to a 70s buddy cop grindhouse film.
Yeah, my name's Todd Buffcoat and this is Sam Beaver. So they even made fun of that in an episode in Beavis and Butthead. So many, you were talking about what it did for metal and stuff like that. I remember getting into a lot of different songs because of that show. Was it Primus? My Name Is Mud. That
Anthrax was on there.
Tool.
Yeah.
Tool. Or even weird songs like Georgia Satellites.
Yeah.
They would sit there and make fun of these. That was the highlight for me, is when they would make fun of the dumb music videos and and they would say these weird dumb comments in the background.
Yeah, was it the Tool video where they're with the rusty nail in the meat?
Yeah, Is that poop?
Can we talk about how Beavis and Butthead?
I could talk about Beavis and Butthead all day.
Introduced "Lesbian Seagull" by Engelbert
That's right.
Humperdinck to me from the movie, and I remember loving that song for quite a while. That one and "Love Roller Coaster" by Red Hot Chili Peppers. But
yeah, I mean, there was the movie soundtrack, but there was also a
a
soundtrack of songs just inspired by the TV show. That had,
really nice.
Yeah, it was called the Beavis and Butthead Experience. And it had like little like skits in between some of the songs that were super funny. It was so good.
Nice.
Well, hey, was there a song by Buffcoat and Beaver on there? That sounds like a 70s band.
That's like when somebody called it, was it Justice Beaver instead of Justin Beaver?
I wouldn't know any better.
This is the battle of all battles. It's the battle that we have talked about since the debut. Road Rules versus Real World.
It's the challenge, but on our bracket.
Oh man!
Oh my goodness!
I mean,
I'm hype about this round.
I think a number of our listeners, including Patty, brought it up earlier. The Real World, at its core, was really a great idea. It was hailed as a place where they can show issues that young people were dealing with at that time, sex, prejudice, religion, abortion, illness, AIDS, death, substance abuse. It then went on to become, kind of what every other show has become with the kind of immaturity, irresponsible behavior, sex, things like that.
But it became formulaic.
At its core, it was a really cool idea. But for me, Road Rules kind of brought in the fact. So with Real World, I just felt like it was always showing 6 or 7 people in a house arguing or talking or sleeping together. With Road Rules, they had things to do. They went out.
And then yell at each other and then sleep with each other.
Yeah, well, we did it on the road.
Next to a cactus in the desert.
But like, it reminds me of like, I really like.
It's just a mirage, Mike.
What's that show where they the Great American Race or something? The American.
Yeah. The Amazing Race.
The Amazing Race.
Amazing Race.
America. But it was the Amazing Race. I love that show. It's one of those shows that it's been the same way for 20 years. They just go around, but there's things to do. It kind of keeps your interest. And so I'm gonna go with the Real World. I'm sorry, Road Rules on this one.
Oh no, you can't take it back.
And I'm really looking forward to the revamped version on Paramount Plus.
If we're not sponsored by Paramount Plus by the end of season 2,
I better get my $4.99 a month paid for.
It's going to be the opposite. They're going to hear this and go, "Don't ever say names again."
Please don't mention our name anymore. I liked the idea of Road Rules. And having like the challenges and the games and stuff like that. But what I really enjoyed about Real World wasn't necessarily the like watching the conflict or the discussions happen. What was really unique about the show was the camera in the confession room where people would go in and they would just speak their mind to the camera about what they were thinking, what their reaction was to the situation that literally just happened, whether it was an argument or maybe they had like an aha moment or they learned something new that day. It was really interesting to get inside the head of someone who was changing. A lot of these people really came into the show with whatever mindset they had, and seeing some of those people, whether it was a new life experience or whatever change, was really cool to see, not necessarily in real time, but as the show developed. And I feel like that was a lot more impactful than watching some people, I don't know, fight over a hot dog or something in an RV. So I'm going with the Real World.
What is the one? Was there a Real World incident where like the guy like chased after a girl and like opened her car door and slapped her right in the face?
Slapped her. Slap heard around the world. Yeah.
Was that the one where is that the
Was,
same one that they ended up doing the re-show, the reboot? Is that the same season?
I don't.
I don't
I
remember.
don't remember. I can't remember. I remember the scene. I don't remember what season or what happened after that. Yeah, that was pretty interesting. I think she was leaving the show. He got mad at her. I don't remember.
Oh, it
Yeah.
was Seattle. It was Stephen Williams
Oh, that's
slapping
right.
Irene McGee as she moved out. It was the response to the event was debated by the housemates. They were shown a videotape of it, and they didn't condone the violence. They did let him stay though on the show after slapping
Did
a
they?
woman,
I
which would not happen today. But
Yeah, there's a lot of craziness that goes on that show, but yeah, Patty. You know,
Oh
they
yeah,
did a
Patty, I
September
forgot about
11th,
that one. Yeah.
which apparently they were not there. I was reading they were actually somewhere else, and it was kind of I don't know if it was necessarily staged, but it wasn't kind of what it appeared. I don't remember the specifics to it, but um, I really don't remember much of Road Rules. I remember watching it and just being like, okay, this is a fun show, but at the end of the day, Real World kind of brings back a lot of memories for me. Even if it's just little tidbits of specific scenes or incidents or specific people. So I'm going with Real World.
just a fun note: Mike the Miz was on the 2001 New York episode, and also there's a guy named Kevin Dunn, not the same
That's
WWE writer, but he is also on there, or he is the same guy. I don't know, but I don't think
it's probably the same.
But yeah, so Mike the Miz was on the one that happened in 2001. But yeah,
I lost my notes for Road Rules. Hold on.
I literally have nothing besides what the show was about because.
All right, so you voted for
What
Real
else was
World.
there?
I voted for Road Rules. Mike, what did you end up saying?
I voted for Real World as well.
Well, there we go. Real World is moving on. Road Rules is out the door, but you can catch that on Paramount Plus in the coming months. I don't know why I keep bringing them up, but anyway,
Is that a keyword? Does that get flagged somewhere and we'll get
maybe
put on, like,
I'm
a
going to put
sponsor
Paramount.
list?
I'm going to put Paramount Plus in the keywords of the
Hashtag
video. But,
hashtag Paramount Plus, please.
But we're here, guys. It's TRL
Shoot.
versus The Real World, two of the most well-known shows in all of history, especially with MTV. MTV, I think The Real World is the longest-running show of MTV's life, and TRL, even though
in America,
in
American reality show history.
Merca.
Oh, there you go. Okay, Merca. Okay, so here we go. Let's talk about it. People at home, feel free to give us your comments. But TRL versus Real World. Let's start with TRL. Total Request Live.
We said a lot about this already.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, you don't have anything left to say?
My only thing is I feel like a lot of the major moments happened in the 2000s. That's my biggest thing. Yes, it skyrocketed certain careers in 98 and 99, but I feel like it really kind of like the popularity height of it was after that. That's just my thought. I don't know. I haven't looked at the ratings. Sorry, I'm not a Nielsen watcher. But that's because I remember like me being in high school, like rushing home, and that was I guess 99 into that. So
it was our Soul Train. It was our American Bandstand. It was like, let's go home and watch TRL. Let's see who's on the show today. You know, you would see NSYNC and Backstreet Boys on the same show you'd see Good Charlotte on. Like, it was just people all over the place. Eminem, Britney Spears. You know, and then again, like you said, I get it. You know, in the early stages of the show, you had boy bands, you had the pop princesses, but then in the 2000s, you kind of had almost everybody on there, including them. But rock bands, Disney stars went on to be on it. Jonas Brothers were on it at some point. But like you said, it was fun to watch and just see who was going to show up, especially considering the really large names that would pass through there. Yeah.
Andy, to go back to your point, so the show as we know it, TRL, started in 97, but it was a spinoff of Dial MTV. So it was the first request show that was on MTV back in 1986 and ran to 96, and then eventually turned into Total Request Live. So when the show was ending on the finale show, they actually did the top 10 most requested videos that were on TRL itself. And they range anywhere from 1998 to 2003. And those really are kind of the years that I remember as well. So number one was Britney Spears' Baby One More Time from 98. You had Eminem's The Real Slim Shady, Backstreet Boys' I Want It That Way, and NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye. Christina Aguilera's Dirty. Kid Rock's Ba with the Ba was the 6th most requested video,
What?
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Beyonce's Crazy in Love, Usher's Yeah.
My name is Kid.
Yeah. Blink 182's What's My Age. And Outkast's Hey Yo.
I could get going. I don't want to pass out. Imagine if I just freaking passed out like right on the keyboard.
If only we knew how he would turn out 20 years from then. Oh gosh.
So yeah, those are the years that I remember. I don't remember anything after that. I was also out of high school by that point. So.
Oh gosh.
I could have kept going, but I was seriously like, I have no air conditioning in here. I was like, if I pass out, it's the most embarrassing thing ever. So I need to cut myself off.
We'd call 911 for you.
I don't. My wife has just texted me.
Alive.
And she was like, "What the f was that?"
I guess she's not a Kid Rock fan.
Well, I don't know if she can hear you or just me from upstairs.
Or she tuned in right at that moment. It's just me going.
Oh man. Anyways,
man.
to get first off, I want to point out that Mike clearly has not learned anything from TRL, and he started with number 1 and moved up. You always start. It's a countdown,
Sorry,
Mike.
sorry.
It's not. You don't give away the prize.
Number 1 was Britney Spears.
Maybe next week's episode we'll just start with the winner, and then we can move on from there.
Yeah. We'll record the episode, but we'll play it in reverse.
Oh man, it's funny. Like I think when I think about TRL, I can't remember a specific moment of TRL. I just remember like the feeling I had. I remember like going home and watching, and I remember seeing the videos, but I don't really remember like a specific time in which something happened on the show.
What was it? Wasn't there tension with Carson Daly and was it Christina Aguilera when there was like rumors that they were dating, or was it Britney? I can't remember. There was a lot of rumors going around that time too, so it kind of made things interesting whenever that person.
Remember that? Yeah.
I think they did.
And then let's talk a little bit about the real world. So the real world we talked heavily about so far, but I don't think anyone is going to argue that the real world is very popular, long running, and had its hand in creating a lot of other shows due to its genre of modern reality TV.
Go ahead.
No, it's okay. What were you going to say?
I was going to say it wasn't supposed to be a reality TV show. It was actually pitched as a show. They actually filmed a pilot and was supposed to be just a show about some people living in an apartment.
Weren't they like struggling artists or like up and coming artists like around the New York area?
Yeah. Yep.
Like everybody kind of had something like in their own scene. Like you had like Heather B, who was an up and coming rapper who put out a really awesome album, by the way. So one of my favorites. Kevin Powell, who was an activist as well as a writer. You had different musicians that were on there too. I can't remember his name. He was an artist. So you had like all these kinds of different artistic, people on this show. How it started off, and then, but they all kind of came from different backgrounds. I think Patty, had mentioned it. Like you had the season with Pedro on it too, so he was really to come out with a really serious topic at that, with what he was going through, and then you had at the same time you had Puck being an absolute terrorizer in that entire house, eating the peanut butter with his fingers and putting it back, things that would just make anybody go crazy.
And that's why he didn't last the whole season.
Yeah, he had to boot him out. But hey, people remember Puck. One, because that name is
It's a weird name.
Yeah. But anyways, cool show. Yeah, it got kind of out of hand, towards the end of it, which most shows do. Oh, I remember that TRL episode. Yeah, Mariah Carey brought up Popsicle.
I was hoping that was a TRL and not Real World, because that would be weird.
Yeah.
Real World. So here we are, TRL, the Real World. I think we've got to make a decision here. Two very different shows.
All
one, a musical countdown show. Another.
What's everybody saying?
Oh, are you interrupting me?
I am. So let's wrap this up.
Hey, remember, Andy's ready for bed. It's past his. It's 10:13. It's past his bedtime.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. I think a 2006 comment from LA Weekly reflects my sentiments. A show that once seriously delved into hot-button issues like homosexuality, AIDS, racism, religion, and abortion is now purposely pushing someone's buttons to have that person implode on air. So I am going to go with TRL in this, just because I don't like where the Real World went. TRL kind of stayed true, other than showing less music.
For me,
oh gosh, Trista.
Oh well, she was a huge Backstreet Boys fan. Yeah, for me, honestly, as much as we talked about how much Real World screwed TV, and reality TV really is like the cesspool of television right now. Man, Real World had such a huge impact on culture back then, so it's Real World for me. Yep.
All right, Andy.
I did it.
It's on you. TRL versus the Real World. I just want to point out some comments that came through here.
Sure.
With
I know, Patty. I suck. You hate me now.
Kate,
I get it.
And Trista is your family, Mike, right?
Cousin, yeah.
Okay, so it's probably not Duval. It's like Duval, right? Because you
no, it's
do
Duval.
weird names.
Duval.
No.
It's Duval.
Oh gosh,
yeah, that's right, Trista. You're not a dad.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I just got that comment. I took it off because I thought it was being. I didn't know what was going on there. But
oh man,
now it's funny to me. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, dang.
She is no longer a Jacquoise friend. Anyways, Andy, have you voted?
Oh, all right. I didn't know if you were showing more comments.
Sorry, you got away from me a little bit.
Yeah, Real World definitely made an impact on the world. It made an impact on reality TV. TRL really highlighted some of the most famous acts at that time and gave them a platform to connect with their fans on a more personal level, which had never been done or seen before. There was one show that I was rushing home to go watch every day, and that was TRL, and that is my pick.
Ooh.
Man.
There it is, guys. We wish we had some sort of music, but there it is. Oh, nice. Look at that. There it is, guys. TRL is the winner of the top 90s and prior
You're going to get us flagged.
shows.
It's royalty free.
Yeah, there it is. TRL, Total Request Live. Carson Daly's catapult into stardom, and pretty much a household name now. He's no. Oh wait,
the dude does the ball drop now, right?
That's true.
Yeah,
he's all
right. He took over for Dick Clark,
right? He did. I think so. He's one of those guys. I mean, we'll probably find out later. He was like the worst guy ever. He's a jerk, but to me, he seems like a cool dude. So we'll see. But anyways, hey, what else did not make our list? People at home, feel free to throw out some names. For me, I was thinking of some other ones like the Tom Green Show.
Yeah.
Say What Karaoke was huge for me. I'm into karaoke. I love karaoke, as Andy knows. And so that was a huge deal to have like the words on the screen. We didn't have the internet that well in 1998. So to have like Say What Karaoke come on and be able to like look up the lyrics and not have to write them on my typewriter, it was very cool. And then the other one I'd bring up is Fanatic. Fanatic was a really cool show for a while as well.
Remote Control was a great trivia show. And Aeon Flux is a great cartoon that inspired many others after it. But I heard a great live action movie.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that show, but when I was doing research for that, everybody was kind of talking about that show. So
it's awesome.
Daria was a great show.
The Beavis and Butthead spinoff, I think.
Yeah. Actually, the voice of Daria, not to cut you off, Andy, the voice of Daria was actually Tracy Grandstaff, I think is her name. She was on the pilot for Real World.
Ren Stimpy, but we kind of like agreed like Ren Stimpy maybe more Nickelodeon than MTV. And then Yo MTV Raps. I mean, the only thing that was showing hip hop music at that time, and some of the top acts in that era, which was the best era of hip hop, were there in front of you on your screen with Dr. Dre and Ed Lover doing the Ed Lover dance and all that fun stuff. So
not that Dr. Dre, different Dr. Dre.
Not different Dr. Dre. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, that's it, guys. Thank you for joining us for another episode of You Dab Me at Hello. I don't know if you guys feel comfortable with me giving away next week's topic, so stop me if not. But next week we're going to continue our talk into TV, and we're going to go with the top Nick at Night TV shows. So Nick at Night in our time frame. So we're going to go earlier than 2000, so nothing after 2000. So 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s. We'll talk about what was on Nick at Night during that time frame. That was something that I watched daily or nightly, all the time. So next week, Nick at Night TV show. So start to think about what you'd like on that list. We do not have a list complete yet. We are all starting to put our stuff together. But we're talking shows like, Get Smart, Dick Van Dyke, Mary Tyler Moore, and more. So I Love Lucy. Thank you, Patty. All of those are probably going to be on the list there. So take a look at it and send us your thoughts. We'll put out a comment on Facebook and feel free to tell us your thoughts. Anything else, guys, before we head out?
Andy has a week to grow a beard.
If you think I can grow a beard in a week, you're like I can get one little stubble.
Andy's been growing his beard since high school.
Yes.
But anyways, hey, that's it, guys. Thank you again for joining us. You all have a good week, a good weekend. And that's it. You didn't ask for it, but here we are anyway. You dab me a hello.